dun, dun.
Beethoven's Fifth Sonata to welcome you back to in-person learning. And
You're
so
here.
we're back to what we call classical learning. So yes, get that. We're in the building. Some of you are our Red Day students. We are so happy to see you.
So nice seeing you all pull up this morning.
And so yeah, we're right now in advisory, which is after period 2 today. So you've already been through coming in the morning. So this is kind of we're gonna run a couple special things this whole week. Today, and teachers know this already. So we'll have these part of announcements, and then we have on Wesleyan announcements is the "I Have a Dream" speech, Dr. Martin Luther King in its entirety, and then tomorrow we've got another one, and then because I have Mr. Brewer and Miss Barbara pick theirs, and so we'll talk about in there, and we'll talk about different things. We're going to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy throughout the week, and then kick off impact and making an impact on students, and we talk about Black History Month and making an impact, small and large, for around what we're doing. But we are happy again to see you back. It looks like everybody got a mask on, ready to go, all that good stuff. So make sure, again, a couple things, you've got to make sure you're wearing a mask at all times, except in the cafeteria. And then if you're taking a break out in the hallway, and the teachers have some mask breaks, you go outside and do it, come back in. But make sure that we're following all those directions. We're kind of like, I don't want to say the word zero, what is it called? Zero tolerance, but you got to have a mask on. I mean, that's just like, you got to say that 6 feet away. Not bumming anybody. We did such a great job in October and early November. Let's keep doing a great job now.
So. You guys have this all practiced perfectly. You're ready.
Yep. And so we're happy to see you back in here. And really, you don't see a lot of changes from the building perspective, because the big time changes are happening over in the 7th and 8th grade wing. It seems like I took people on tours. Now I've started to take some students on tours. I can't take you during school hours, so please don't ask. And then we don't have a bus after school. A lot of our athletes are going on tours. But I tell you what, Ms. Barbara, I went up there, and I know you went up there on Thursday. I've gone up, even if you go up one day and the next, there is so much change, so many changes taking place on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, the dance team was cute, the way they were reacting when they saw how all the windows and
so many windows.
Yeah.
And they don't have those little, sometimes broken blinds that the other windows in the room. 6th grade still have those windows where the blinds have to unscrew them to get done, and it's not great. But I mean, we're not going to use locker, but you'll see a new locker configuration, and we'll see some other things, and we're really excited because you know what? For those of you who don't know, we had a referendum in 2016 when you were in elementary school, and then we had another referendum in 2020 in the summer, and then so 2020 gets everything in the building fixed. So at some point, everybody's going to be in classrooms they're not quite used to, and a lot of them are going to be in the South Gym. I know 6th graders, you're moving at the end of February. February. I do use that R, so maybe it's not as silent as I thought it was. I said February, unless I'm wrong. So you're going to be in there when the 7th and 8th graders get their spaces, and then when next year 6th graders come in, and then I want to say early on in November, they get to move into new spaces that look like the 7th and 8th grade and the 6th grade wing, and then we'll take out the media center, whole center area there, and then people will be moving in the South Gym and then back, and it's going to be worth it. I mean, I tell you what, the new spaces, and we're going to pretty much have a brand new school within all Wesleyan. So everything is expanded, and so our cafetorium is brand new out, and our 7th and 8th grade wing are brand new out, and it's just, we're going to do some athletic things that are different, and move our tennis courts over, like the bus barn over there is going to be taken out, and tennis courts are going to be put over there. Our soccer fields are going to be rotated to be full size. We're going to redo the track. All kind of good stuff is going on. So it's, we're super excited about it.
Touched.
So yeah, by the time you guys are in, like, okay, so I say this, by the time you folks are in high school, you're going to be going through this again at North Central, but we'll be done. And you can come back and visit us. I
Right.
promise. I'll write you a little note that you can show whenever. I just want to visit because right now North Central is under major construction. But that's cool to know because at North Central, then when years to come, everything shifts. Because I know those of you from Crooked Creek, they're going through construction and your siblings are meeting that and then they're going to see this, but it's well worth it.
Yeah,
It's very well worth it.
we need it. Yeah.
So those of you coming from Willow Lake, I don't know what to tell you, came from a new school and then coming into a school that's getting ready to be new. And then you will everybody experiences construction here in Washington Township.
Yeah.
Different times.
The end.
All right.
All worth it.
So because we are running speeches at the end, we're going to kind of try to be tighter with our announcements. So we're going to get started on our announcements right now. All right. Today is Tuesday, January the 19th. It is a red day. We are periods 1 through 4 today. So 1, 2, advisory lunch, 3, 4, and then we go home. So. All right. Don't forget though, regardless of where you're at, and so some of you are at home, some of you are here, you're starting your day on Canvas. And let's just, we're never going to forget that. We always start our day at Canvas at msdwt.instructure.com. And then parents, don't forget to start your day at westlaneparents.com. And also don't forget Parent Square. It's right there. It's Parent Square. It's for everything you need.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, Zoom norms, we've been talking about these for forever. So those of you at home, make sure you don't share your Zoom name. Make sure you don't share your Zoom link. Don't share Canvas passwords. Don't share any kind of passwords. Make sure your Zoom name is your first and last name. And some teachers are really good about there's using some things through Canvas to be able to do that. But let's talk about the important room norms because those have not been in effect here for a while. So I'll talk about being safe. So you're gonna have to wear your mask at all times except in the cafeteria. We've said that and said that. Wash your hands, use your hand sanitizer. On the mask thing, it goes over your nose as well. And then maintain the 6 feet of social distancing. That means don't hang around. And also that means in 15 minutes. So making sure that we're breaking at any one time. If you are talking to someone briefly, you then just make sure you're cognizant of the space and separate. So if you ever want to know what is 6 feet, if you're out in a tile hallway anywhere, it's 6 of those tiles in a row, not just like, 6 in a square, 6 in a row to kind of keep mindful of what 6 feet looks like. Ms. Barbara, talk about being responsible.
Okay, guys, we're getting into new routines again. So remember when you come to school to bring your device and the charger every day. And part of that also is make sure your device is charged. So the night before you go to sleep, just make sure you have it plugged in. Plug it into the same outlet as your phone. So that way you grab it all in the morning and it's charged. Ask questions when you don't understand and keep everything you need and leave what you don't in your backpack. So we're not constantly going to be getting up, getting out of our seat, going to our backpack. So you have to think about, I'm going in the math class. What do I need? Get all of that out right at the beginning of the class and sit down and be done. So you just kind of have to think and be prepared as you go into your classroom.
And we're gonna have to be respectful of our spaces too, because the fact that we're gonna put our coat on our back seat.
Yep.
Or leave it on. It's up to you.
Take it off.
And then we're gonna put the bag over the coat or over the back of the seat, just so it's not in the way of everybody. We're not tripping around it.
Right.
Please don't forget to be respectful. Please be respectful, Wildcats. Making sure you just be patient when your teacher is admitting the virtual students, whether or not they are Black Day or virtual. And then please help wipe down seated areas at the end of class. Please give your full attention to the speaker and please use respectful language. Don't forget any technology issues. First off, what do we do, Ms. Barber?
We turn the computer off.
And then we turn it back on and we look. And like I said, I would just say 96% of the time that fixes everything. And that includes anything that's not used for school, video games, phones, everything that just works in general. And if it doesn't work, then you've got a real problem. And then we call 317-254-5566, or we go onto our parent portal, and right below the schedule for the week is our Google form that we can fill out to get technology help. And then we also have on there, I send home every week the kind of cost for replacement in case something's been broken. Families are responsible for that.
Mhm.
And so, and it's again, it's not much, but it is like this, we can't give out free chargers and
Right.
replace screens all the time. There is a fee to that. So, all right, eighth grade students, don't forget to bring your horror or suspense books that you checked out for your unit back to your language and literature classes. That is Miss McGee, Miss Lopez, Miss Golnick. All right, so make sure you're bringing those classes back. I think the other day someone asked me what classes those were. So McGee, Lopez, Golnick. You'll need to make sure you give those books back to your teachers. And then for those of you that are all virtual, meaning that you are a virtual academy, we'll have a day that you can bring your books back as well. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthdays today. Orlando Ely.
Orlando.
Orlando. Seamus O'Neill, 6th grader.
Happy birthday.
Seamus. And are you ready for this one, Ms. Barber?
I'm ready.
The boy, the myth, the legend. Happy birthday to Matthew Bravo.
Bravo.
Bravo, Matthew Bravo.
Bravo, Matthew, bravo.
And I think, you know what, he might be in school today too, so
Matthew, I hope you have a great day.
might have to visit him down there. Miss Tessa's
I
advisory.
can't wait to see you.
Miss Tessa's advisory. Give him some birthday noogies. I don't know. We'll have to see if he's lucky. All right, we're going to finish up the life of Dr. King, and then tomorrow we're going to be talking about his legacy and impact down the road. So we're going to start up here with the civil rights in 65 and 66. So on February 2nd, Dr. King was arrested in Selma, Alabama during a voting rights demonstration. After President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act into law, he turned the problem of poor blacks. And so then in January 22nd and 1966, he moved into a Chicago slum to show the living conditions of the poor. And then in 1966, in June, he and others began the March Against Fear throughout the South. And then on July 10th, 1966, he also started a campaign to end discrimination in Chicago. So I think we think a lot of times of him just working in the South, but by this time, his cause and his kind of impact had become more nationwide, and people were looking to him in all areas to do this.
Yeah.
Ms. Barbara, talk about 1967.
1967, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community is published. The Supreme Court upholds a conviction of MLK by a Birmingham court. He was demonstrating without a permit. King spends 4 days in a Birmingham jail. And on November 27th, King announces the creation of the Poor People's Campaign. It will focus on jobs and freedom for the poor of all races.
Then we talk about in 1968, he declares that Poor People's Campaign will end in a march on Washington. They will demand a $12 billion economic bill of rights, and this would promise employment to those who can work, money for those who can't, and an end to housing discrimination. He also marched in the support of sanitation workers on a strike in Memphis, Tennessee. And in fact, the Memphis Grizzlies, the basketball team, actually, the signs and of that, they actually used for their uniforms last year, some of those special uniforms. And on March 28th, King led a march that turned violent. This was the first time it had happened. And he also gives his I've Been to the Mountaintop speech, which will be another speech we hear this week.
Yeah, that was in April of 68, and that was directly connected to the sanitation worker strike.
I talked about his assassination in 1968, Ms. Barber.
So one day after the I've Been to the Mountaintop speech, which was for me one of my, I think one of the most influential speeches that he gave that I really like to listen to, and you'll have the opportunity to listen to. At sunset on April 4th, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is shot and killed. He was standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. King's funeral was on April 9th and is a global event. Within a week of the assassination, the Open Housing Act is passed by Congress.
Oh, not time. Sorry about that. I did it again. Sorry, I did that again. I don't know why that did that. I thought I skipped it. My apologies. No IXL today because we're going to listen to the speech, and then your advisor might have some things to work on as well today. But one of the things we want to make sure you get a good listen to some of these speeches that they resonate today. I think that's what, be one thing. Some speeches are no longer like great speeches at the time, but no longer are they influential. But I think Dr. Martin Luther King's speeches still resonate today, and some of the struggles that we're going through, and some of the things that we're looking into and still fighting to this day. And again, I say to this day, but legitimately, we're talking, 50 plus years ago, which is not that long. There are people that people who are older than that, and so that means they lived through it. And so we're still, we're still working through some of these things because, and it's not like people think it happened so long ago. I got news: 50 to 55 years is not that long ago. And I think that's what I think we need to keep in mind. It's not over, and we're continuing to struggle through injustice and looking through that. And I know some people are like, it's not like this. It doesn't, like, that doesn't matter. It still is something that we're fighting for you, and fighting for each other. And I think that's still something that we need to keep in mind. So without that, we're going to end our part of announcements. Teachers on West Lane announcements. The I Have a Dream speech is right below that, and then we will add on speeches each day as we go through our announcements. So thank you. Welcome back, students. We're so glad to see you. And again, we will see you again tomorrow, Red Day students, and then Black Day students will come on Thursday and Friday.
Yep.
So thank you, and have a great rest of your Tuesday. And here is the speech, and your teachers will show it to you as soon as we're done here. Thank you.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.